that? Good at where we at. Getting attacked, but still you won't react. All day distraction, every act for your distinction. Don't abandon the nation. Give me that, good at where we at. Never distinction, hard to get it back. Better to scratch. All right to waving straight off the bat. Rhythm, spin it, be that, say I, kill it. You tell it this, you say you're rich. Back full of debt, master Nutella, leaving cool with your chips. Good night Cinderella when your glass and your slip. Cause your ass is a strip, princess, ass ain't snip. This is matriarch and anabolic, don't get it twisted. Stay far, think you're sick, we the antibody. Star think of sin, who sailed the Pacific, not just anybody. Could get a ship, study archaeology. You give up your birthright for a bag of rice. Habeas corpus is the sacrifice. Alameda more to living out of life. See the present, seal is the seventh. Pulse be the star, the riot. Calling up that, good at where we at. People attack, still you won't react. All day distraction, every expedition. Don't abandon the nation. Thinking that, good at where we at. Getting attacked, still you won't react. All day distraction, every expedition. Don't abandon the nation.
On the flip side, letting go often helps us grow. Reevaluate the state that caused stagnation, you know. So I analyze the past, present, plan, and prioritize. Which is theoretical or physical part of quote unquote die. Why do I apply these changes? To improve what my gain is. Acknowledging how I'm aiming and correcting what I'm claiming. Straining out the doubt since it's about feeling unclear. Focusing on the end result, the inner sea feel here. Like a peer, similar, not the same. Summer 2020, last 4 months I've rearranged my framework. Now I exert with more certainty. Not really surprised, an important fact is a specialty. I will be on this path, letting go of the past. Training to do it more fast, ensuring the help with things last. Fast instead of bitch, making that mental switch while keeping that emotional trigger. Like saying niggas, not nigga.
Thinking that, good at where we at. Getting attacked, still you won't react. All day distraction, every expedition. Don't abandon the nation. Thinking that, good at where we at. Getting attacked, still you won't react. All day distraction, every expedition. Don't abandon the nation.
Hard head, stiff necks, one Jew, I'll either kill him. Hanging on trees are shot up by the pig villains. Judges and magi and more blacks to prison camps. Keep more out courts with crimson hats for lambs or upside down chicken buckets. Calling the sovereign citizens. A poetic justice cause more higher learning than single. The top of the middleman. Tables as I sprinkle cinnamon. I'm not in the tabernacle to bring the good spirits in. Militant discipline. You give children little into abandon. Haiti be Republic, Dominican. Cast away birthrights. Wear masks for designers. Conscious minders debate more but zip lips around shriners. No words for highwaymen or badge carrying renegades. Tighten up your law game. Your mind needs to renovate. Bring Bay Rennie in. Take them out like walls. Ears closed to lower self hypnotic cause. Higher self reigns while you ride hold the reins. The rabbit hole gets deep and muddy when it rains. Unifying the left and right brain is called insane. You saw and heard nothing yet. Wait till you proclaim and change your name and not wanting to be the straw. Here comes quasi-color and de facto law. Will you abandon or stand on your square standing? Will you keep begging or start commanding and demanding?
Thinking that, good at where we at. Getting attacked, still you won't react. All day distraction, every expedition. Don't abandon the nation. Thinking that, good at where we at. Getting attacked, still you won't react. All day distraction, every expedition. Don't abandon the nation. Calling storming, hit him with a hit. Oh, hit him with a hit, hit him with a hit. To listen with your lips. We the North Americans, red, lead, pink for pelicans. Deep beat, horns get no breaks. Filled with all Mexicans.
Moors can be from Canada. Canada's a corpse. Canada's a dry drink. Canada's a Supreme Court. Can't be United States here, so you can't be Canadian. Moors are indigenous, not immigrant or alien. Canada's a second cup. Canadians won Stanley Cups. Who said Canada is not North America is a dumb f***? Canada is brisky and a Crown Royal whiskey. Moors are not Canadian, but we'll go Bill Bixby. Canada has president's choice, also a prime minister. Canada's the lily white north, but acts so sinister. Canada is guilty of denationalization. Canada is not a country, but a corporation. Canada has Ku Klux. Canada has skinheads. Canada would go below zero, make the darkest brother's skin red. Canada's a moose and a triple fat goose. Moors are not Canadian, cause Canada's a spruce. Canada makes best baseball bats and most lentils. Canada has justice of the peace, playing judgmental. Moors are not a product. Canada is so corrupt. Chunks of Africa found under America, so shut the f up.
Calm then storm in, hit him with a hit. Oh. To listen with your lips, we the North Americans, leave the pink for pelicans. Beat on horns, get no breaks, filled with all Mexicans. Calm then storm in, hit him with a hit. Oh. To listen with your lips, we the North Americans, leave the pink for pelicans. Beat horns got no breaks, filled with all Mexican.
We the North, been here from time before the foreigner drawn lines built to define our boundaries. Naturally, it's family. We built squads, we built tribes to survive, then to thrive. We alive and been living here. His story partial and unclear. More truth appears, we study more. Certainly builds our foundational core. Information is available, most raw. Some is refined, we may find it all. Responding to the call to activate. Standing tall while watching some deflate. Some mistake the facts and some negate the words we used to state and self-create. Used to make or break documentation. Court cases, proper representation. We're placed in positions to listen. Clocking they emphasizing division. Incisions made on the map surface. Dividing us and ours is a purpose. Now we work this with the info given. Connecting with the others so that you improve living.
Calm then storm in, hit him with a hit. Oh. To listen with your lips, we the North Americans, we the pink for pelicans. Beat on horns, get no breaks, filled with all Mexicans. Calm then storm in, hit him with a hit. Oh. To listen with your lips, we the North Americans, leave the pink for pelicans. Beat horns got no breaks, filled with all Mexican epics.
Peace, Moors, Islam to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to all the Moors. Prophet warns all Muslims, governors, ordered to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical, agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans, for it causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their cardon button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out a divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways. Noble Ali. Islam. To be proclaimed at every meeting. Islam. I am glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me and the movement now, by the same people of our side of the nation that claimed that I was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as American citizens, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that attribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that paid their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I am calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance and I need it badly. Never before have I needed finance so badly as I do at present, so I can shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my fame and nobility. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without I, the prophet, being head. It has been proven by my works, which I have performed in the past few years. Prophet Noble Drew Ali. To the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Islam, this is the instruction from your Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Be faithful unto your forefathers' divine and national creed, that you would be blessed for your good deeds that you sow in the flesh. Allah is the one that judges the world, and his judgment is now on, but the weak can comprehend it not. The end of time is drawing near, so says Allah to his divine prophet, I Noble Drew Ali. And that's why many hearts have been turned to stone. Many have eyes to see but cannot see, ears to hear but cannot hear, lest they would be confounded of their sins. These are trying hours now, dear Moors, and every evil spirit is moving, and they are trying every weak mind to overthrow and drag out the true foundation that has been laid, and to cause confusion in the minds of the ones that do believe. But if you have the true love of Allah and the spirit of your forefathers, you fear not what you hear or see, but would sacrifice the utmost of your very life to protect your movement and your prophet. Watch your enemies, dear Moors. Your enemies are the ones that speak against your prophet and ridicule him to the very lowest, and the ones that speak against your divine and national principles. Act accordingly, and Allah would bless you for your good work. Peace, your divine prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Islam. Peace to all the Moors. We're here for our Love, Truth, Peace, Freedom, Justice tour. If people didn't get hip to the game, just want to bring you up to date. Just want to quickly bring you up to date. Give me 1 second. Just bring you up to date. So we were supposed to be near Virginia, and then flight got canceled. Right. Flight got canceled. Can't fly because don't have vax and all this stuff. But then, how come today I'm getting text messages from the app that my flight's ready for check-in? Why would the flight be getting ready for check-in if it's canceled? Just think about it. Just something to think about, that's all. Just something to think about. Why? It has to make sense. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Are you sending out emails that stuff's canceled? Or are you sending out how are you sending out that stuff is locked down? I mean, what term would you even use? Because apparently flights are going still and all that. So what's really going on? So since we weren't able to be there because flights canceled and all that stuff, we're going to do the online version and still put this info out, because we're at that time where this is pretty much all that there is. And this is all that there is, one Noble Drew Ali brought. So we've gone through the first two principles, and we're at the third principle. We're at the third principle now. Peace. I was reading this book because this teacher put me on to Thich Nhat books. Pretty serious. It's pretty serious. Very, very interesting. Leads you, this is, part of the thing. Honors to Noble Drew Ali for presenting certain things to give us inspiration to know more. Because he wasn't, like these people are playing around today. You got to listen to them. You can't go anywhere else to go learn and all that. Right. So this is out of the foreword. Although attempting to bring about world peace through the internal transformation of individuals is difficult, it is the only way. This is the way. Peace must first be developed within an individual. Peace must first be developed within an individual. One more time for the ones in the back. Peace must first be developed within an individual. So if you don't have peace within, the reverse is outside yourself, because you're going to find inspirations of peace outside of yourself to get you back to yourself. You're going to. Love, compassion, and altruism are the fundamental basis for peace. Love is one of the principles. Compassion and altruism are the fundamental basis for peace. Now, one thing that we're going to do is, as we say with Noble Drew Ali, he said divine. He said divine to us. So it's in our best interest to look towards divine. Right? This is from the Pacific Theosophists. This humane impulse, even when misdirected, is still the dawning of the divine in man, the forgetting of self for others, the advancement of altruism over egotism. The humane impulse in individuals is the true sign of advancement from egotism to altruism, from the animal through the human toward the divine. This is indeed an education in the highest sense, but not in the ordinary sense, as the term is apprehended. What we call culture may be as one-sided and selfish as any other acquirement of man. Here as elsewhere, man may have an eye only to the main chance, to the best opportunity for himself in intellectual matters, as in money matters. Popular education, mere intellectual acquirement, often minister to pride and self-conceit, and therefore belong to selfish egotism. To the selfish and the time-serving, altruism has no other advantage than the giving up of the present advantage with the somewhat uncertain prospect of a greater advantage to be derived thereafter. Man, let's open your ears on this one. Right, this is how you distinguish traders from true sincere Moors. To the selfish and time-serving, altruism has no other advantage than the giving up of the present advantage with the somewhat uncertain prospect of a greater advantage to be derived hereafter. The idea of rewards and punishments is inseparable from self. To forego self-indulgence here in order to secure greater self-indulgence and more exclusive privileges thereafter. For the poor and despised, here to change places with rich and honored there, leaves the sum of human misery the same, and no such philosophy has ever advanced mankind one step toward divine altruism. Divine altruism is revealed to man not as a mere matter of sentimentality, nor as a speculative philosophy, but as the one principle in all its bearings that elevates man above the brute and that enters the conscious life of man as the divinity that shapes his ends, inspires his life, and realizes his destiny. The perfect man, so far as he is related to time and phenomenal existence, is of slow growth. He is a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. He is to be tried and tempted at all points, so that knowing all evil, he may consciously and deliberately prefer all good. He is, through experience, thus to become a conscious center of goodness, wisdom, and power. And that was just because altruism was mentioned. Everything that we're studying, put divine ahead of it and just go check, see if something comes up. More than likely, something's going to come up. So when we look at Noble Drew Ali's message, and this is just the foreword, we ain't even getting anywhere yet. We haven't even scratched the surface. We haven't pulled out the thing yet to scratch the surface. And look where this thing is going, just from the foreword. We even get to Quran and all that yet. And again, this thing could be, you go over it and then you could break it down as to the importance of divine altruism. And more is taking that position. Because what is it going to do? Elevate man above the brute. Isn't the Negro black colored the brute? Divine altruism all day in Noble Drew Ali's teachings. And then put all that stuff in the capsule and then call it peace. Ali's the man. People like to play games with him. We like to play games with him. But it's all right. We'll let them do their thing. one of these qualities are developed within an individual, he or she is then able to create an atmosphere of peace and harmony. This atmosphere can be expanded and extended from the individual to his family, from the family to the community, and eventually to the whole world. Once these qualities, love, compassion, and divine altruism, are the fundamental basis and are developed within an individual, he or she is then, only when these qualities are developed, love, compassion, altruism. If you studied, and went to study yourself and realized that there's more to study, then don't be going on the thing, shaking stuff and all that. Go study. You have time for the BS. Once these qualities are developed within an individual, he or she is then able to create an atmosphere of peace and harmony. To create an atmosphere of peace and harmony. This atmosphere can be expanded and extended from the individual. So you work on self first. That's why when the stuff drops down, you put on your mask first. Because if you're the superhero and you're done for, then what happened to everybody else? You gotta suffer because you're a dumbass. You forgot your cape pump. This atmosphere can be extended and expanded from the individual to his family, from the family to the community, from the community to the rest of the world. And this is what we were talking about earlier on the Instagram with Noble Drew Ali going around the world with the message of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice needing to be practiced. Living mindfully, slowing down, and enjoying each step and each breath is enough. Peace is already present in each step. And if we walk in the way, a flower will bloom under our feet with every step. In fact, the flowers will smile at us and wish us well on our way. Meditation, he tells us, Thich Nhat Hanh, meditation, he tells us, is not just in a meditation hall. It is just as sacred to wash the dishes mindfully as to bow deeply or light incense. He also tells us that forming a smile on your face can relax hundreds of muscles in your body. He calls it mouth yoga. And in fact, recent studies have shown that when we flex our facial muscles into expressions of joy, we do indeed produce the effects of our nervous system that go with real joy. Peace and happiness are available, he reminds us, if we can only quiet our distracted thinking long enough to come back to the present moment and notice the blue sky, the child's smile, the beautiful sunrise. If we are peaceful, if we are happy, we can smile, and everyone in our family, our entire society will benefit from our peace. In the rush of modern life, we tend to lose touch with the peace that is available in each moment. The peace that's available in each moment. Each moment, each present moment, there's peace there that you should be seeking out. Because the rush of modern life, not the walk through the tulips of modern life, the rush of modern life makes us lose touch with the peace that's right there, which again could be blue sky, children's smile, a beautiful sunrise, some new knowledge that you got. Oh my gosh, this vegan food tastes so good. Peace. Peace is there for you to extract from things around you so that you could vibrate on the frequency where you could do good, right? Or Drew Ali said, do right. It would surprise me if more would do right. Do that. Just do good. Just do right. Don't worry about anything else. Do that and bring yourself to that place of being able to extract peace from every present moment. Every present moment. Because the importance of the principles is one thing. The fact that, because we did the first two principles, the fact that Noble Drew Ali can present this principle, right? And Moors are going to take this principle and they're going to go study. And they're going to come back with volumes of why peace is every step. Right? And just take your notes. So if you have something, we're going to put the link in the chat a little bit later, so we can get these, other perspectives of peace. Since Drew Ali is the man, many of us know he's the man. We studied to know that, yeah, he was on it when he said these 5 principles. And then we're on the peace principle now. And it ain't but a half hour. And this thing went so far in a half hour that we shut the stuff off right now. And the beauty about this author is that he's dealing with personal experience as somebody who lives peace, as somebody who studies peace activists or peace activism. You get a broader perspective of certain things, which again goes back to why Drew Ali said we honor all the divine prophets, so that we can go into these subject matters And so we can go into these subject matters and figure some things out for our individual self and for the world around us. So this is from the chapter Waging Peace. This is the level that he's at with peace. Waging peace. Practicing mindfulness in each moment of our daily lives, we can cultivate our own peace. With clarity, determination, and patience, the fruits of meditation, we can sustain a life of action and be real instruments of peace. I have seen this peace in people of various religious and cultural backgrounds who spend their time and energy protecting the weak, struggling for social justice, lessening the disparity between rich and poor, stopping the arms race, fighting against discrimination, and watering the trees of love and understanding throughout the world. Wage peace, not war. During our journey, this is the chapter Love in Action. One, do not be idolatrous about or bound to any doctrine, theory, or ideology. All systems of thought are guiding means. They are not absolute truth. Two, do not think that the knowledge you presently possess is changeless, absolute truth. Avoid being narrow-minded and bound to present views. Learn and practice non-attachment from views in order to be open to receive others' viewpoints. Truth is found in life and not merely in conceptual knowledge. Truth is found in life and not merely in conceptual knowledge. Be ready to learn throughout your entire life and to observe reality in yourself and in the world at all times. 3, do not force others, including children, by any means whatsoever to adopt your views, whether by authority, threat, money, propaganda, or even education. However, through compassionate dialogue, help others renounce fanaticism and narrowness. Do not avoid contact with suffering or close your eyes before suffering. Do not lose awareness of the existence of suffering in the life of the world. Find ways to be with those who are suffering by all means, including personal contact and visits, images and sound. By such means, awaken yourself and others to the reality of suffering in the world. 5, do not accumulate wealth while millions are hungry. Do not take as the aim of your life fame, profit, wealth, or sensual pleasure. Live simply and share time, energy, and material resources with those who are in need. Put that one out again. Number 5, do not accumulate wealth while millions are hungry. Do not take as the aim of your life fame, profit, wealth, or sensual pleasure. Live simple and share time, energy, and material resources with those who are in need. 6, do not maintain anger or hatred. Learn to penetrate and transform them while they are still seeds in your consciousness. As soon as anger and hatred arises, turn your attention to your breathing in order to see and understand the nature of your anger or hatred and the nature of the persons who have caused your anger or hatred. This for all you All you Moors out there, there's something stressing you or something like that. Whatever it is, the cares of the world bothering you. Don't maintain anger or hatred. Learn to penetrate and transform them while there are still seeds in your consciousness. As soon as anger or hatred arises, turn your attention to your breathing. Turn your attention to the holy breath. Turn your attention to the Quran. Turn your attention to a picture of Noble Drew Ali. Turn to anything that is going to get your attention off of anger and hatred. This is the cure-all. Because anger, hatred, and all that stuff only brings issues with your health. Because the body can't take that kind of pressure. We cope with the pressure. The body's not taking it. Our coping mechanism as beings in the flesh is high. Okay? As soon, remember, all this is dealing with peace is every step, right? In the moment, as soon as you feel anger or hatred arising, as soon as you feel it, as soon as you know that it's on the way, because you know you feel it, stop playing. You know. You get the feeling. You get the little stomach churn or something. You get the little prick at the back of your neck before you snap. As soon as it arises. And then we're saying not just anger or hatred, any negative energy that arises, anything. Turn your attention to your breathing immediately. As soon as you feel it, start. Inhale, 7, inhale, 3, inhale, 10, inhale, however long you could inhale for. And then exhale to get that negative energy out. Because when that energy hits you and you don't do anything about it, whatever happens after that, that's on you. And that's how a lot of you people get karmic debt and all that stuff. Because you're not listening to your higher self when it's talking to you. Higher self told you, stay in the house. Where are you going? Nah. It's the crystal show. So I gotta go to the crystal show as if you don't got enough crystals at the house or something like that. Sure you got enough. Where you going? Seven, do not lose yourself in dispersion and in your surroundings. Practice mindful breathing in order to come back to what is happening in the present moment. Be in touch with what is wondrous, refreshing, and healing, both inside and around yourself. Plant the seeds of joy, peace, and understanding in yourself in order to facilitate the work of transformation in the depths of your consciousness. In the depths of your consciousness is where you want to be transforming from. And you say, oh yeah, I open my pineal gland and my third eyes are open, and You got inner eyes you didn't open yet, inner heart you didn't open yet. There's a lot of work to do. Because we, being in flesh is the last layer. So we fell many a times before we were in flesh. We fell. So don't lose yourself in your surroundings. Wow, look at, and then a bus is about to run you over. And your dumbass is lost in some stuff playing in some headphones. And you're completely out of touch of your surroundings. You didn't even hear the bus honking. And all of that is not living in peace. Because once you're living out of harmony, here comes destruction. Eight, do not utter words that can create discord and cause the community to break. Make every effort to reconcile and resolve all conflicts, however small. 9, do not say untruthful things for the sake of personal interests or to impress people. Do not utter words that cause division and hatred. Do not spread news that you do not know to be certain. Do not criticize or condemn things that you are not sure of. Always speak truthfully and constructively. Have the courage to speak out about situations of injustice, even when doing so may threaten your own safety. 10, do not use the religious community for personal gain or profit or transform your community into a political party. A religious community should, however, take a clear stand against oppression and injustice and should strive to change the situation without engaging in partisan conflicts. I know. Wow was right. Remember, this is all just coming from dealing with peace. One word, no withdrawal, he said. One word. Take you down a rabbit hole. Once again, for the people who they know who they are. Do not use the religious community for personal gain or profit, or transform your community into a political party. A religious community should, however, take a clear stand against oppression and injustice and should strive to change the situation without engaging in partisan conflicts. 11, do not live with a vocation that is harmful to humans and nature. Do not invest in companies that deprive others of their chance to live. Select a vocation that helps realize your ideal of compassion. 12, do not kill. Do not let others kill. Find whatever means possible to protect life and prevent war. 13, possess nothing that should belong to others. Respect the property of others, but prevent others from enriching themselves from human suffering or the suffering of other beings. Do not mistreat your body. Learn to handle it with respect. Do not look on your body only as an instrument. Preserve vital energies for the realization of the way. Sexual expression should not happen without love and commitment. In sexual relationships, be aware of future suffering that may be caused. To persevere the happiness of others, respect the rights and commitments of others, be fully aware of the responsibility of bringing new lives into the world. Meditate on the world into which you are bringing new beings. Peace is every step. The path of mindfulness in everyday life. And the path is real. Now we can't deal with peace without dealing with the art of peace. We got to deal with the art of peace. Because the amount of lessons that we have, just from peace could really create some change. If not for the world, at least for the individuals. And again, we give honors to all the Moors worldwide. We give honors to all the Moors. Honors to the Prophet for bringing us these principles so that we can learn the truth about ourselves, truth about our higher self, our lower self, and everything else. We're going to the art of peace. By the Moor, Morihei Yeshiva. More. But we'll leave that alone. The art of peace is medicine for a sick world. We want to cure the world of the sickness of violence, malcontent, and discord. This is the way of harmony. There is evil and discord in the world because people have forgotten that all things emanate from one source. Return to that source and leave behind all self-centered thoughts, petty desires, and anger. Those who are possessed by nothing possess everything. Those who are possessed by nothing possess everything. Practice of the art of peace is an act of faith, a belief in the ultimate power of nonviolence. It is faith in the power of purification and faith in the power of life itself. It is not a type of rigid discipline or empty asceticism. It is a path that follows natural principles, principles that must be applied to daily living. The art of peace should be practiced from the time you rise and greet in the morning to the time you retire at night. Inner principles give coherence to things. The art of peace is a method of uncovering those principles. And Jawali saying that, peace is the principle. The art of peace functions everywhere on earth, in realms ranging from the vastness of space down to the tiniest plants and animals. The life force is all pervasive and its strength boundless. The art of peace allows us to perceive and tap into that tremendous reserve of universal energy. The power of peace is such It can help you tap in. It can help you tap in to the tremendous reserve of universal energy. So people shouldn't be talking about that, especially Mars. You thought, oh, I'm tired. I got it. And I don't want to. There shouldn't be no more talking. Just tap into the peace is one of our principles. Start mastering the art of peace and just tap into the higher power anytime. That's why you have to be in a state of mindfulness so you can connect through the breath. And like I'm saying, everything is meditation right now. You focus on your breath right now, this is meditation. You just do this like some sound bowl or something like that. And close your eyes and focus on your breath while we're talking about all this peace. And that's meditation. And then after, you give a testimonial after what the hell happened when you meditated, listening to a lecture, listening to a class, listening to a conversation. Peace is every step. Life is growth. If we stop growing technically and spiritually, we are as good as dead. The art of peace is a celebration of the bonding of heaven, earth, and humankind. It is all that is true, good, and beautiful. This is for all the like to go everywhere Moors and can't stay in the house. Now and again, it is necessary to seclude yourself among deep mountains and hidden valleys to restore your link to the source of life. Sit comfortably and first contemplate the manifest realm of existence. This realm is concerned with externals, the physical form of things. Then fill your body with ki and sense the manner in which the universe functions, its shape, its color, its vibrations. Breathe in and let yourself soar to the ends of the universe. Breathe out and bring the cosmos back inside. Next, breathe up all the fecundity and vibrancy of the earth. Finally, blend the breath of heaven and the breath of earth with that of your own body, becoming the breath of life itself. As you calm down, naturally let yourself settle into the heart of things. Find your center. Fill yourself with light and heat. Think this stuff wasn't figured out? Stuff was figured out. These people did a great job of getting us off of our principles. A great job. You know exactly what they're doing too. Because if these people would have taught us about peace and love and freedom and truth and all of the principles, but here we are getting it now. Because Juali said he came for the generations after him, not for those sellout traders that were around him. So now it's for us to take these lessons and do something with them. Since we got internet and all that stuff and we could research, we don't got to go to the library. You could sit on your ass and find it out. No excuses. Those who practice the art of peace must protect the domain of Mother Nature, the divine reflection of creation, and keep it lovely and fresh. Warriorship gives birth to natural beauty. The subtle techniques of a warrior arise as naturally as the appearance of spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Warriorship is none other than the vitality that sustains life. Life is a divine gift. The divine is not something outside of us. It is right in our very center. It is our freedom. In our training, we learn the real nature of life and death. When life is victorious, there is birth. When it is thwarted, there is death. A warrior is always engaged in a life and death struggle for peace. A warrior is always engaged in a life and death struggle for peace. Contemplate the workings of this world. Listen to the words of the wise, and take all that is good as your own. With this as your base, open your own door to truth. Do not overlook the truth that is right before you. Open your own door to truth. Don't be afraid. Well, no, but Drew Ali didn't say I should open my own door. He didn't even mention doors. You better go open the door, because ain't no Drew Ali coming to open the door for you. So you better go open the door, especially if it's the door of truth. You better. You're running out of options. The principle is all we have left. The only thing that's going to bring you back to center, it's going to ground you properly. As soon as you concern yourself with the good and bad of your fellows, you create an opening in your heart for maliciousness to enter. Testing, competing with, and criticizing others weakens and defeats you. Testing, competing with, and criticizing others weakens and defeats you. That's why all these guys are on load management and all that stuff right now. Because they're already defeated. Right? Look at Deion Sanders' toes and all that. Daily training in the art of peace allows your inner divinity to shine brighter and brighter. Do not concern yourself with the right and wrong of others. Do not be calculating or act unnaturally. Keep your mind focused on the art of peace, and do not criticize other teachers or traditions. The art of peace never restrains or shackles anything. It embraces all and purifies everything. And I don't think that, because remember that it's an art. Remember that it's an art. Remember that it's a principle. And we're striving for this peace. Let it be real time that you're looking for peace. Oh yeah, 50 years we're gonna have peace. No, we want peace right now. How are you gonna get peace right now? What's the easiest way that you can get peace right now for yourself? And whatever way that is, then that's, especially once it's not violating anybody else's rights and all that stuff, then you should be good. You should be good. It's important that we realize that these lessons that we're going into, just because of Noble Drew Ali mentioning peace to us, nationality to us, nation to us, Moroccan Empire, things that he mentioned that was supposed to inspire us to go and research and find more. And we know why they don't talk about him. We know why they don't bring him up. We know why they bring up everybody else except him. We already know what's up. But it's significant that he would tell us to make sure that we're living by these principles and name them. And with these principles being named and us knowing them by name, when we start studying them and researching them and realizing the magnitude of his teachings, we would have the respect that we deserve when we recognize what it is that he brought. Forget somebody else recognizing it. When we recognize it, we have to recognize it first. And until we do, the stuff's not going to work how you want it to. And that's even a big pill. Us recognizing it. We always want somebody to recognize. Well, they didn't recognize my card, so I didn't. Why? Do you recognize your card? How are they going to recognize it if you don't recognize it? Face a single foe as if you are facing 10,000 enemies. Face 10,000 enemies as a single foe. Nobody gets no passes. Right? The killer instinct, Mamba mentality, that. Doesn't matter who you are. You're 5. I'm gonna dunk on you. I don't care. No matter who the foe is. Don't get caught off guard. You misjudge something. A true warrior is always armed with 3 things: a radiant sword of pacification, the mirror of bravery, wisdom, and friendship, and the precious jewel of enlightenment. A true warrior is always armed with 3 things: the radiant sword of pacification, the mirror of bravery, wisdom, and friendship, and the precious jewel of enlightenment. The art of peace is the principle of non-resistance. Because it is non-resistant, it is victorious from the beginning. Those with evil intentions or contentious thoughts are vanquished. The art of peace is invisible because it contends with nothing. It's the principle of non-resistance. The art of peace is invisible. When, just like if there's a lot of hatred and then somebody brings love in there, all the hatred's done. Right? The hatred is done because they're either going to yield to love or they're going to get love out the way so they can continue their hatred. Right? There are no contests in the art of peace. A true warrior is invincible because he or she contests with nothing. Defeat means to defeat the mind of contention that we harbor within. Mm. And that was the art of peace is invincible, not invisible. There are no contests in the art of peace. There are no contests. No contests in the art of peace. How could there be no contest in the art of peace? Because he or she contests with nothing. Defeat means to defeat the mind. Defeat means to defeat the mind. All is mental. In the art of peace, a technique can only work if it is in harmony with universal principles. Oh, 5 highest universal principles known to man: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And the art of peace could only be attained if it is in harmony with the universal principles. Interesting. Such principles need to be grasped through mind, pure consciousness. Selfish desires thwart your progress, but mind not captivated by notions of victory or defeat will liberate you. Selfish desires thwart your progress, but mind not captivated by notions of victory or defeat will liberate you. Mind fixes your senses and keeps you centered. Mind is the mind. Mind is the key to wondrous power and supreme clarity. Mind is the key to wondrous power and supreme clarity. Supreme clarity. If your opponent strikes with fire, counter with water, becoming completely fluid and free-flowing. Water by its nature never collides with or breaks against anything. On the contrary, it swallows up any attack harmlessly. There is no place in the art of peace for pettiness and selfish thoughts. Rather than being captivated by the notion of winning or losing, seek the true nature of things. Your thoughts should reflect the grandeur of the universe, a realm beyond life and death. If your thoughts are antagonistic toward the cosmos, those thoughts will destroy you and wreak havoc on your community, on your environment. Your thoughts should reflect the grandeur of the universe, digest it. Your thoughts should reflect, right? I think somebody said it in the chat earlier, as above, so below. Your thoughts should reflect the grandeur of the universe. This is what Juali was talking about, going back to the mindset of our foremothers and forefathers. That our mindset is as grand as the universe. If your thoughts are antagonistic toward the cosmos, those thoughts will destroy you. Those thoughts will destroy you. Will destroy you? Will. John knew exactly what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. Exactly what he was doing. We know the Prophet Noble Juali has his lessons. And we're going to get there. And we also want to put this out, since we're dealing with peace. Also want to put out this writing by Noble Juali, What is Islam? Friday 1st, 1929. February 1st, Friday, February 1st, 1929. Islam is a very simple faith. It requires man to recognize his duties toward God Allah, his creator, and his fellow creatures. It teaches the supreme duty of living at peace with one's surroundings. It is preeminently the religion of peace. The very name Islam means peace. The goal of a man's life, according to Islam, is peace with everything, peace with Allah, and peace with man. The Quran, the holy book of Islam, tells us that the final abode of man is the house of peace, where no vain word or sinful discourse will be heard. The holy divine prophet Noble Juali says that a follower of Islam, in the true sense of the word, is one whose hands, tongue, and thoughts do not hurt others. One's hands, tongues, and thoughts do not hurt others. Object of man's life, according to Islam, is its complete unfoldment. Islam teaches that man is born with unlimited capacities for progress. Islam does not support the idea that man was born in sin. It teaches that everyone has within him the seed of perfect development, and it rests solely within himself to make or mar his fortune. The cardinal doctrine of Islam is the unity of the Father Allah. We believe in one God, Allah, who is all God, all mercy, and all power. He is perfect and holy, all wisdom, all knowledge, and all truth. These are some of his great attributes so far as we can understand. He is free from all defects, holy and transcendent. He is personal to us insofar as we see his attributes working for us and in us, but he is nevertheless impersonal because he is infinite, perfect, and holy. We do not believe that death, decay, or sleep overtake him. Neither do we believe that he is a helpless, inactive, and inert force. Nothing happens without his knowledge and will. He neither begats nor is he begotten, because these are the trails of a frail and weak humanity. This unity of Allah is the first and foremost pillar of Islam, and every other belief hangs upon it. So what did Noble Drew Ali present to the Moors in their Moorish Quran with regard to this message of peace? It's like going through others, see where they're at with it, and then bring Noble Drew Ali in and see if it's in harmony with everybody. And then if it is, then it makes sense that we look at what he's saying, because he was before a lot of these people. And his message is so strong for the Asiatics that once it's applied, then some things could get done for our people. But until then, they're playing around. And so page 3, know thyself and thy Father God Allah. Dear readers, do not falsely use these lessons. They are for good, peace, and happiness for all those that love Jesus. They are for good, peace, and happiness. That's what this is for. Our Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Our Holy Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. Divinely prepared by Noble Drew Ali. Chapter 2, Education of Mary and Elizabeth. Verse 19, but we'll do two before so we can get the point. And you must teach your sons and set their souls on fire with love and holy zeal, and make them conscious of their missions to the sons of men. Teach them that Allah and man are one, but that through carnal thoughts and words and deeds, man tore himself away from Allah and debased himself. Teach that the holy breath would make them one again, restoring harmony and peace. The theme, harmony and peace. Chapter 3, Ilahi's Lessons, Unity of Life, verse 12. The lower self is rich in promise, but poor in blessedness and peace. It offers pleasure, joy, and satisfying gain, but gives unrest, misery, and death. I think one of the Moors brought that up earlier. That without peace, here comes misery, chasing you down like a crackhead, chasing you. Just wants a hit. Because what? What did it say? Man tore himself away from Allah. So since they tear themselves away from the principles and not deal with them, then, you get what you get. One of my favorite chapters, chapter 4, Death and Burial of Elizabeth Matheno's Lessons, the Ministry of Death. And the reason why this chapter is my favorite, one of my favorites, is because this chapter never fails to give peace of mind to somebody going through death. I don't even tell them where it's from. I just cut and paste it and say, hey, you should read this since whoever just transitioned. And 100 out of 100 times said, I don't know what that was, but thank you so much for that. 100 out of 100 times. No one has ever put it like that. Wow, I never looked at it like that. Everyone. So chapter 4, Death and Burial of Elizabeth, Matheno's Lessons, the Ministry of Death. Verse 7. Verse 5. The cause of death are always for the best, for we are solving problems here as well as there as well as here, and one is sure to find himself where he can solve his problems best. It is selfishness that makes one wish to call again to earth departed souls. Then let your mother rest in peace. Just let her noble life be strengthened and inspiration unto you. So yeah, we know that it's hard, but let them rest in peace. Let them rest in peace. And if it's like that, where, you know, you can't let them rest in peace and you got to bring them up and then you got to do this whole charade and all that stuff, then let that be inspiration to you then and go do something. If it's like that, then do something in honor of them. If you can't let them rest in peace, do something to give them honors. Don't do nothing. Don't just put them on a shirt or something like that. Do something. Start a fund. Start a trust in their name. And you're going to put finance in there so that you could send little children to university or something. Chapter 8. Jesus reveals to the people their sinful ways. Verse 15. We'll start at verse 12. And you must bear in mind that when man harms in thought or word or deed another man, he does a wrong to Allah. If you would serve Allah, who speaks within the heart, just serve your near of kin, and those who are no kin, the stranger at your gates, the foe who seeks to do you harm. Assist the poor, help the weak, and do harm to none, and covet not what is not yours. Then with your tongue the Holy One will speak, and he will smile behind your ears, will light your countenance with joy, and fill your hearts with peace. Right? Fill your hearts with peace. This is what you would receive if you would serve Allah, who speaks within. Your hearts will be filled with peace. Chapter 9. Jesus attends a feast in Bahar, and here he taught human equality. Verse 19. We'll start at verse 16. The sin lies in the wish, in the desire, not in the act. You covet other people's wealth. You look at charming forms, and deep within your heart you lust for them. Deceit you practice every day, and wish for gold, for honor, and for fame, just for your selfish selves. The man who covets is a thief, and she who lusts is courtesan. You who are none of these, speak out. Nobody spoke. The accusers held their peace. The accusers STFU. When, just like the Dirty Moors STFU when Drew Ali was around. As soon as they get him out of the way, now they're Supreme Grand Advisor. Now they're Supreme Grand this. Now they're we're reincarnated. We're Noble Drew Ali. When he was there, they didn't say Jack. He was there. You're talking BS in his face. He knows. As soon as he gone, here they go talking BS. But look at him now. Right? Mute. Look at him now. We already know all of them are FBI. We already know all of them were down with the destabilization of the Moorish movement. We know them by name. And we know what they did to Drew Ali. We know what they did. 655. You know what we did. We know. Chapter 12. Jesus teaches the common people at a spring, tells them how to obtain eternal happiness. From verse 3. And Jesus spoke to one and said, why are you all so sad? Have you no happiness in your life? The man replied, we scarcely know the meaning of that word. We toil to live and hope for nothing else but toil, and bless the day when we can cease our toil and lay down and rest in Buddha's city of the dead. And Jesus' heart was stirred with pity and with love for these poor toilers. And he said, toil should not make a person sad. Man should be happiest when they toil. When hope and love are back of toil, then all of life is filled with joy and peace. And this is heaven. Do you know that such a heaven is for you? Do you know that such a heaven is for you? When hope and love are back of toil, then all of life is filled with joy and peace. And this is heaven. That's why they say if you have to work, do something that you love. So that it's not work. It's something that you love doing. Right? Men should be happiest when they got some work to do. Whatever it is. Going back to the thing we're talking about with the meditation. And everything being meditation. You vacuum in out, focus on the breath and vacuum. Focus on the breath, clean the tub. Clean the toilet. Focus on the breath, folding the clothes up. Focus on the breath, cooking. Focus on the breath, washing dishes. Focus on the breath, eating some vegan right now and licking your fingers. Chapter 13. Life and works of Jesus in Egypt among the Gentiles. Verse 4. And now a man grown strong by buffeting of every kind, a teacher who had stirred the multitudes in many lands. And Jesus told the aged teachers all about his life, about his journeys in foreign lands, about the meetings with the masters and his kind receptions by the multitudes. Elihu and Salome heard his story with delight. They lifted up their eyes to heaven and said, O Father God Allah, let now thy servants go in peace, for we have seen the glory of Allah. You know how Allah gets people to go back to peace? Gets you to go back to peace. Because you're out of order. There's no need to be out of order. Chapter 18. The resurrection of Jesus. Pilate places the Roman seal upon the stone door of the tomb. At midnight, a company of the silent brothers march about the tomb. The soldiers are alarmed. Jesus teaches to the spirits in prison. Early Sunday morning, he rises from the tomb. The soldiers are bribed by the priest to say that the disciples had stolen the body. Verse 37. He rose and for a moment stood beside the white-robed form. The weaker soldiers fell to the ground and hid their faces in their hands. The stronger stood and watched. They saw the body of the Nazarene transmute. They saw it change from mortal to immortal form, and then it disappeared. The soldiers heard a voice from everywhere, yet from everywhere it said, "Peace, peace on earth, goodwill to men." Chapter 9. Jesus appears fully materialized to the Eastern sages in the palace of Prince Ravana in India, to the Magian priests in Persia. Three wise men speak in praise of the personality of the Nazarene. 22. The Magian priests were in the silence of Persepolis and Casper, and the Magian masters who were first to greet the child of promise in the shepherd's home in Bethlehem were there with the priests. And Jesus came and sat with them. A crown of light was on his head. And when the silence ended, Casper said, "A master from the royal council of the Silent Brotherhood is here. Let us give praise." And all the priests and masters stood and said, "All hail. What message from the royal council do you bring?" And Jesus said, "My brothers of the Silent Brotherhood, peace on earth, goodwill to men." And then he pushed all this peace, and then they murdered him. All this peace, and then got murdered. And then the message today is still about peace. Not so you can go get murdered. But see, we have other principles that go with peace. Some things that the other prophets didn't consider. It's like the stones. You got to collect them all, or stuff's not working. And Juali collected them all. And these 5 principles being used by Moorish Americans is what's going to change the frequency out here. What's been changing the frequency out here, these Moors who are sincere and are living by the principles that Juali laid down, saving everybody right now. Saving everybody. Just living in peace. Chapter 21. Marriage instructions for man and wife from the noble prophet. Verse 7. She is clothed with neatness. She is fed with temperance. Humility and meekness are as a crown of glory circling her head. On her tongue dwelleth music. The sweetness of honey floweth from her lips. Decency is all in her words, and her answers are mildness and truth. Submission and obedience are the lessons of her life. Peace and happiness are her reward. Submission and obedience are the lessons of her life. And peace and happiness are her reward for being submissive and obedient to her higher self. Ain't to no man, so don't get excited. Don't get the egotism going on now. Don't get caught up. Don't get caught up. You're at peace with everything. You know she's not taking no ego. You already know. Chapter 24. The obedience of children toward their father. Verse 6. He hath watched for thy welfare. He hath toiled for thy ease. Do honor therefore to his age, and let not his gray hairs be treated with irreverence. Forget not thy helpless infancy, nor the forwardness of thy youth, and indulge the infirmities of thy aged parents. Assist and support them in the decline of life. So shall their hairy heads go down to the grave in peace, and thine own children, in reverence of thy example, shall repay thy piety with filial love. Chapter 27, verse 13. But the curse of iniquity pursueth him. He liveth in continual fear. The anxiety of his mind and the rapacious desires of his own soul, like vengeance upon him for the calamities he had brought upon others. Oh, what are the miseries of poverty in comparison with the gnawings of this man's heart? Let the poor man comfort himself, yes, rejoice, for he hath many reasons. He sitteth down to his morsel in peace. His table is not crowded with flatterers and devourers. He is not embarrassed with a train of dependents, nor teased with the clamors of solicitations. Sit down with your morsel in peace. Be like the poor man. Be humble for what you have. Because there's always somebody who got less than you. Stop the BS. When you're suffering or somebody suffering more than you, stop it. Stop it. Focus on the moment. Don't let the anger and stuff come in. Focus on the breath and get yourself out that place. And then listen to the little voice so it could direct you where to go next. Because the little voice is going to talk to you once you start breathing. It's automatic. Chapter 29, Magistrate and Subject. Verse 17. No murmurs against him arise in their hearts. The machinations of his enemies endanger not the state. His subjects are faithful and firm in his cause. They stand in his defense as a wall of brass. The army of a tyrant fleeth before them, and chaff before the wind. Security and peace bless the dwelling of his people, and glory and strength encircle his throne forever. It's so great. Lessons are so great. And keep in mind, these are just lines that mention peace, if you didn't notice. They're just the lines that mention peace. You see how peace is connected to the majority of the pages in this book. Just like love is connected to majority of pages and truth is connected to majority of pages. It's just interesting what freedom and justice is going to bring when we go there. Oh, speaking about justice, chapter 31, holy instruction from the prophet, justice. The peace of society dependeth on justice, the happiness of individuals on the safe enjoyment of all their possessions. So there's no peace without justice. There's no love, truth, or freedom without justice. If there's no justice, don't expect to have any of these other principles. Not have them as they're not available to you. Remember, it's all mental. All is mental. All. Chapter 38. Chapter 40. Well, chapter 41. Holy instructions from the prophet in constancy. 12. Whoso hath seen an enemy cannot be a friend, for man needeth not of his faults. How should his actions be right? Who hath no rule of his life? Nothing can be just without proceedeth not from reason. The inconstant hath no peace in his soul, neither can be at ease whom he concerneth himself with. So going back again to the self. Once you're not at peace with yourself, you're not finding it outside yourself. However you find peace within yourself, go there. Dwell there. Reside there. Because once you have peace inside yourself, you would have peace externally. Prophet stressed it. Do good. Chapter 46. The beginning of Christianity. And Jesus himself was a true blood of the ancient Canaanites and Moabites and the inhabitants of Africa, seeking to redeem his people in those days from the pressure of the pale-skinned nations of Europe. Rome crucified him according to their law. Then Europe had peace for a long time until Muhammad the first came upon the scene and fulfilled the works of the Jesus of Nazareth. Chapter 47. Every subordinate temple, there is no one who is able to change man from the descendant nature of his forefathers unless his power extends beyond the great universal creator Allah himself. These holy and divine laws are from the Prophet Noble Jew Ali, the founder of the uniting of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science of North America. These laws are to be strictly preserved by the members of all the temples of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, that they will learn to open their meetings and guide it according to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Every subordinate temple of the Grand Major Temple is to form under the covenant of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and create their own laws and customs in conjunction with the laws of the Holy Prophet and the Grand Temple. I, the Prophet Noble Jew Ali, was sent by the great God Allah to warn all Asiatics of America to repent from their sinful ways before the great and lawful day which is sure to come. End of times and fulfilling of the prophecies. Verse 3. Verse 3. In these modern days, there came a forerunner who was divinely prepared by the great God Allah and his name is Marcus Garvey, who did warn the nations of the earth to prepare to meet the coming prophet, who was to bring the true and divine creed of Islam. And his name is Noble Drew Ali, who was prepared and sent to this earth by Allah to teach the old-time religion and everlasting gospel to the sons of men, that every nation shall and must worship under their own vine and fig tree, and return to their own, and be one with their Father God Allah. The Moorish Holy Temple of Science is a lawfully chartered and incorporated organization. Any subordinate temple that desires to receive a charter, the Prophet has them to issue to every state throughout the United States, etc., that the world may hear and know the truth, that among the descendants of Africa there is still much wisdom to be learned in these days for the redemption of the sons of men under love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. The covenant of the great God Allah: honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be longer upon the earthland, which the Lord thy God Allah hath given thee. Come, all ye Asiatics of America, and hear the truth about your nationality and your birthrights, because you are not Negroes. Learn of your forefathers' ancient and divine creed, that you would learn to love instead of hate. Honors to the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. One more stop on this peace campaign. Know that Drew Ali said we honor all true and divine prophets. Honor all true and divine prophets. And we're going to take a stop. Take a stop into the Analects of Confucius. Ancient wisdom, contemporary, peace, and harmony. And remember, we honor all true and divine prophets. So we're just showing you where Drew Ali presenting these principles is really for us to do this studying, figure out our way. Right? The guideposts are the principles. You study some of these principles, they go into different of these prophets. These same prophets that Drew Ali told us that we should be honoring. The teacher said, the sum of my teachings comes down to this: live in harmony with yourself and be at peace with all of humanity. At 15, I set my heart on understanding my place in the universe. At 30, I had laid the foundation of my philosophies. At 40, I found peace. At 50, I truly understood the oneness of humanity. At 60, I listened and was receptive to the harmony of perpetual change. At 70, I did as I pleased, and yet all that I did was in peace and harmony with all people. If one is out of harmony with others, peace will be hard to attain, right? If one is out of harmony with others. That's why when the trolls come over here, they have no peace because everybody else is in harmony with what's going on. And then the troll is trying to do something different and he's not getting peace. All they keep getting is ridiculed and cussed out and all that stuff. Right? So don't be them. In order to increase the peace and harmony in society, appoint the honest and empathetic to office. When the dishonest and arrogant hold office, the people become contentious and rebellious. Right? When the dishonest and the arrogant, Mr. Arrogant L. Bay, dishonest Day, when they hold office, the people become contentious and rebellious. The teacher was asked the meaning of the saying, better to meditate at the kitchen stove than at the shrine. The teacher said, it is not true. Whoever is out of harmony with the oneness of humanity has nowhere to find peace. Nowhere to find peace. If people in positions of authority are narrow-minded in their views, irreverent when performing rituals, and without sorrow in mourning, how can they manifest peace and harmony in the nation? Peace and harmony gives a neighborhood its beauty. A wise person, when given the choice, will always choose to live in peace and harmony. A wise person, whenever given the choice, will always live by the 5 principles. That's how you know the real ones. They don't talk the principles, they live them. And you would notice that they're in peace and harmony. One who resides in peace and harmony can long endure adversity as easily as prosperity. A person who feels at one with peace and harmony is at home in peace and harmony because it is her nature. A wise person gravitates to peace and harmony because she knows it is advantageous to do so. Only a person who is in harmony with the oneness of humanity can deal with the friendly people as well as the disagreeable people. A person who flows in peace and harmony of the oneness of humanity is tolerant of all people. You see how in peace and harmony that we are? We're so in peace and harmony with the principles that Drew Ali laid down, that there's a frequency right now, an impenetrable frequency based on us studying this peace lesson for the past 2 hours. Wealth and status are what most people prefer, but if they are not in harmony with wealth and status, they will not acquire or maintain either. Poverty and low status are what most people desire to avoid. People do not reside in poverty and low status if they are not in harmony with them. If a person forgets his oneness with humanity, he will find it difficult to achieve peace and harmony in life. A person who truly resides in peace and harmony never forgets her oneness with humanity for even a moment. People who remember their oneness with humanity flow in peace and harmony, whether they are at rest or whether they are surrounded by turmoil. People who remember their oneness with humanity flow in peace and harmony, whether they are at rest or whether they are surrounded by turmoil. And there's the correlation of the Buddhist lessons and the Confucian lessons, that as soon as you see the BS coming, focus on breath. Focus on the oneness with humanity so you can flow in peace and harmony. People fail to achieve peace and harmony in all the areas of their lives because they deal with the majority of things in the same way. If one observes others, one can easily identify the reasons that a person has not achieved peace and harmony in his life. There is little purpose in consulting a person who is ashamed of modest clothing and simple foods regarding achieving peace and harmony in one's life. A person who has achieved peace is not for or against anything. Her priority is to see the harmony in everything. Do not be concerned that you do not hold public office. Concern yourself with being qualified to hold public office. Do not be concerned that no one recognizes your abilities and accomplishments. Just do your job. Just do your job. Don't be concerned that, you see how the trolls just do their job? They just be trolls. How hard they go at trolling is how hard you go for peace. How hard they go for disrespecting your prophet, it's how hard you go for peace. How hard they go for anything that's not in harmony with where you're at, that's how hard you go for peace. A person who resides in peace constantly seeks to stay centered in the clarity of harmony. A confused person is concerned with profit for profit's sake. A confused person is concerned with profit for profit's sake. And war is confusion, and gods of war is about guns, and then profit. War is profitable. Everybody's confused. They should be living in peace and harmony. When you observe someone who flows in peace and harmony, observe her so that you may increase your own peace and harmony. When you see someone who is confused, observe him so that you may avoid confusion. When you observe someone who flows in peace and harmony, observe her so that you may increase your own peace and harmony. Any more is out there if you want to get in here to give some thoughts on peace, just push the link. One who resides in peace and harmony is deliberate in her speech and prompt in her actions. Peace and harmony are seldom solitary. All things are drawn to them. Someone said, although Jan Young is a man of peace, he is not eloquent. The teacher said, what is the value of eloquence? Those who confront others with eloquence are many times disliked by them. Whether Jan Jung is a man of peace or not, what does he need? Why does he need to be elegant? There are 4 attributes of a person who flows in peace and harmony. In her personal affairs, she is courteous. She is respectful to her employer. In taking care of others, she is generous. In the employment of others, she is fair. When the teacher was told of someone who acted with intelligence, when the nation flowed in peace and harmony, but acted stupidly when the nation flowed in disharmony and turmoil, the teacher said, one can acquire intelligence, but not stupidity. I desire to achieve peace and harmony of your teachings, but do not possess the strength to achieve it. The teacher said, those who do not possess the strength collapse in exhaustion along the path, but you have simply quit. I do not possess the strength to achieve peace and harmony. The teacher said, those who do not possess the strength collapse in exhaustion along the path to strength, but you have simply quit. Just a quitter. Damn quitter. Islam, Brother Menelik.
Islam, Noble, Grand Sheik, what's good?
Yo,
Islam. Peace to all the Moors that's on the live. And I've been studying, sitting back, listening to the outstanding lecture. You can tell by, by the studies and, and the attributions that the Prophet had contribute to the Moors, that we have evolved. And, love is the key. Okay. Because when you look at love as LOVE and evolve, it's the same thing backwards.
Right.
So in our manifestation, we always have to have charity for each other. That brings peace and unity and wellness. So we have to understand that we have to do this on a principle of what? Our higher selves, not the lower self, not how this guy Noble Khalifa is trying to come in and interrupt the flow. You see what I'm saying? Of divineness. See, you're not going to be able to do that anymore. You're not going to be able to come in and try to, poke at Moors and get them to get some type of reaction out of them like like they've been trying to do. You see what I'm saying? So, that goes into us being who we say we are and adhering to those 5 principles, the 5 high principles known to man. And that is love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, Noble. So when I look into that, as far as the charity of man, we have to understand man is a species, and the Prophet had the womb man in his hands. So within that aspect, once we understand who we are, and then we bring our women to bring themselves to their higher selves, so they can fully enact this movement. Because once we get the women involved, okay, a lot of men are already involved in the movement. But once we get all the Moabites, okay, to get on the same frequency, everything is gonna shut down. Even these little dirty Moors, they're gonna have to come into adherence, okay? Because everything's going to pan out how it's supposed to do, just like the prophecies have, he put out there. A lot of Moors forget that the prophet had prophecies, and these prophecies supposed to be ordainedly enacted, which makes you an active Moor. See, you're not trying to do anything to bring those prophecies into fruition. So you're supposed to be a God of your own manifestation on the earth plane. Okay. We have Allah, which is the concept of female and male. Okay. Which is the big God. Okay. Which we are in likeness of. So if we're not manifesting anything as far as what our prophet left us to do and to stay active, then, what are we doing? The peace always have to be, always have to come in with peace, but we always know how to war though. But peace is always the forefront. So when that's like now, I can listen to Moors, and they'll have certain concepts, and they'll speak ill wills or they'll say certain things about the prophet, sneak this. But I learned how to control my temperament and still give them a tongue lashing without even, being vulgar or anything.
Mhm.
Because it's about us doing and exacting what the prophet instructed us to do. Now we already know there's turncoats. We already know the temple's been infiltrated. We already know this. So why go and set a tent up outside the mansion when you can just go ahead and organize yourself and go back into the mansion and put the ones who stole the mansion out from under you out? The pen is mightier than the sword, Morris. It is. Because through legislation and everything, as far as what we're looking at, the contemporary of the United States, right? Corporation, unum sanctum, everything is working within their favor because ain't nobody is trying to organize to nationalize ourselves so we can go ahead and be the heirs that we are. There's been so many, sellouts on both sides as far as, within our organizations too, that has turncoat. Like some Moors that came out that I used to follow and I used to learn stuff from, and they turncoat now. And I don't even have to call no names. They know who they are. So if anybody's gonna have any type of peace, I'm gonna have peace because I already know what I'm doing and staying active in is what the prophet had pushed and wanted to happen before he got taken out by these, turncoats or whatever. So we always got to have love, Morris, because love, my mother used to tell me, kill them with kindness. Okay.
Yep.
You kill them with kindness. And then they can't really, really like, well, we can't really force him into fighting. I can't really, knock him off his square. So I'm going to have to leave this more alone. I'm going to have to try to provoke him some kind of other way, and that's not going to work anymore because now Moors are becoming precise. It's like surgeons, and we're going to scimitar you. We're going to eradicate the conundrum. We eradicate that conundrum and we're going to use the proper remedies and the proper steps to consciously bring some remedy, the correct way. That's it, Morris, because how I look at certain things now, I didn't calm down as far as humble to myself as far as dealing with my people because I know I'm going to run into some people that's not going to have the same understanding, overstanding. They're not. So what I have to do is bait them in, let them talk, and then slide some things in, like, plant the seeds more, just like you've been planting seeds, just like all Moors on this platform been planting seeds. So we have to be the ones to reap those benefits when those seeds has been planted. So how are we going to do that? We're going to have to do that peacefully. That's how we're going to have to do that because they can't stop what Allah already willed. They can't. And they know that. And they know that. So when we look at certain things for a higher perspective, that stuff not even going to get us angry anymore. It's not even going to get us upset because I can save my tongue lashing I don't even have to say anything to you more. I can give you a look. And then I'm gonna go the opposite way and handle that. You feel what I'm saying? But the right way though. It don't even have to be as far as what people think engagement is. Rules of engagement is about being generous, courteous, kind, and that's peace. Islam?
Islam. Peace, brother Usman.
What's going on, Islam? Everybody, Islam Moors, peace to all the
It's
Moors, man.
Peace.
Islam.
I was just
What's your
having a
measure?
discussion today, man. And it was like it's like I'm talking to one of my homeboys, and you know, he is a Christian or whatever. But anyways, that don't matter. My thing is, I'm giving him like literature. I'm giving him like law words. I'm breaking down the linguistics of okay, yeah, this is what this language was, and this is where we come from. And then I'm showing them videos, and I'm giving them articles. I'm reading all of the articles and stuff, and it's just like he just sitting there. And it's like, man, I understand that, we have to have a certain delivery that we give to them, but man, it's like, how much more humble can we get? I mean, the information is right there. It's in your face.
Yeah, well, you remember that everybody is only going to be a handful saved. So, they can't, the position that I have is that they shouldn't be able to say Amor never told them. So once you told them,
Who
then
talking?
it's on them after that. This is Brother Cujo talking. Yeah. Islam, Brother Raka.
Islam, GS.
What's good, more?
I'm just here, I have to be a part of the peace.
Islam.
Too much other stuff going on out there, so I give honors to you and the Prophet for, the continuation of the mighty work that has to be done.
Islam, more. Give thanks. Islam, Brother Amir.
Islam.
Peace, more.
Peace, more. I heard somebody else in the background. It sounded like I was just chiming in, say peace to the Moors and everything like that. And Islam, brother Raphael. Hey, too.
Islam, Brother Amir.
Islam. Hey, not much, man. For all my Moors that's out there with that warrior heart, man. Islam. Like
Islam.
no doubt, no doubt. I just wanted to let Moors know about the
Go ahead, more. We're not hearing you.
no, that 753 warrior code. That 753 warrior code I wanted to touch on real quick.
All right, go ahead, more.
It's first you got this. What's going on? I'm
I'm
getting
saying
crazy feedback.
it's been 137 years, 2 months, 10 days since the 8th of January.
Islam.
Yeah, I was just looking up some stuff when Brother I Cook Bay of Illinois said the Holy Prophet said, when I was born, it turned black, dark in the daytime, and the people put their hoes down and came out of the fields.
Islam. Peace, Amir. Messing with this more now.
Peace. You can hear me, GS?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, man. I don't know what that was, but however, what I was chiming in, just wanted to let the Moors know about the 753 Warrior Code.
Yeah, go ahead, Mar.
Well, one of the first things in the 753 Warrior Code is rectitude, and that's correctness of behavior and, just thinking righteousness. So you all most definitely want to be on peace if you claiming to be a warrior indeed too. Then you got courage, benevolence, politeness, honesty and sincerity, honor, loyalty. This thing killing me today.
Yeah, we can hear you though.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can hear you.
but wow.
Yeah, there's that warrior code. Start, start, start talking about solutions. And stuff's not working. I know how we went through the whole thing with no issues. And we talk all the time and there's no issues. So you know how it goes. If any other Moors out there want to get in, we got we got 15 minutes. If any Moors want to get in, just push the link exactly as usual. You already know how it goes. You do it this way and see what's good.
In the meantime, the winter of 1886 to 1887, also known as the Big Die Out or the Big Die Up, was extremely harsh for much of the continental North America, especially for the United States, although it affected other regions in the country. It is most known for its effects of the western United States and its cattle industry. The winter marked the end of the open range era and led to the entire reorganization of ranching. Just filling in the gaps till somebody comes on.
Yeah, boy, no worries. Islam, brother Amir. You there?
Yeah, can you hear me more?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead, yo.
All right, let's try one more time.
Yeah.
Well, again, I was just speaking on the 753 Warrior Code
Yeah.
for all the warriors that talk about being muftis and, even controlling yourself in general. Even to being a warrior is some peace and positivity in that because you just don't fly off the handle. You got virtues that you follow. It's 7 of those. You have 5 keys of health that you also need to go by. And then there are also 3 states of mind. I just want the Moors to look that up for themselves so they can check that out.
And you have the list there again too? Just hit
Yeah.
the list again.
You got 7 virtues of the warrior, which are rectitude, courage, benevolence, politeness, honesty, honor. Oh, cut the more. Excuse me, more.
Say it again.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Uncensored.
As soon as you start listing those things, here
It
they go.
sounds like he really in the Matrix.
For real. Crazy. That's how they do it. That's how they do. Trying their best. Trying their best. But the seven virtues of the warrior: rectitude, courage, benevolence, politeness, propriety, honesty, sincerity, honor, sensible exercise, efficient rest, proper hygiene, positive attitude, etc. etc. Give thanks more. And again, when we're talking about the virtues, it's going back to the principles. It's going back to the principles. Just check the thesaurus and see how many of the principles are in the virtues. and it's there. It's there. All the principles will always come up. Always. That's just what it is. Right. I don't know if any of the Moors out there have any closing remarks. It looks like nobody's pushing the button.
Peace to all the Moors, man. Just excuse me. Like he was saying, man, just find that peaceful place and just take it there.
Islam. Give thanks. Peace, Rakalel.
Islam, Morris. Islam, all foreign national sympathizers, all dirty Moors, unconscious Moors. You know, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Everything else will fall into place. Learn to love instead of hate. Learn to love yourself, and you can learn to love others. Same old same. Nothing changes. Just gotta stay on the track. Islam.
Islam more. Peace, brother Manelek. Oh, forgot that was me.
I think that the Moors that out here exposing, some of the dirty tactics that these other Moors are doing out here, they mad. That's why we have trolls coming over here daily to see what's going on, because they already know the battle is about to go our way. You know, as long as we stay active on social media, in the streets, in school or whatever, or however the situation, at the job, but you don't have to incite no riots or anything like that. Go to them, and speak to them, as a brother, as a friend, you know, and that's how we want to have to, come off to people, because they'll come ask you once they really want to know, and I have conversations all the time with, and with people that I interact with all the time, and they get it. What I mean? Some of them do, some of them don't, but I tell them that they need any help or anything, I give them my number, and I tell them like this: studying is something that you have to be the beholder of. Your peace, you'll get peace by learning who you are and loving yourself, because you can't love others unless you love thyself. That's the main point. So I'm gonna yield the flow with that, Grand Sheik, and I want to tell all the faithful Moors, and they know who they are. All right, I love them, and you know what I mean, and it's always gonna be love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice over here in Islamism.
Give thanks more.
Gratitude, Grand Sheik, Grand Sheik, and gratitude to the Canaanland Moors, for y'all illustrious works that y'all put in too. And I yield the floor, Noble.
Peace more. Yeah, that's the real. Dealing with the peace lesson of Drew Ali. Moore's getting in here, getting in here on some peace, no debating stuff, no being a troll in the chat, now just vibrating on peace for the rest of the night. Set the tone. Should be good right now. Drew Ali said, when the Moors are happy, he's happy. I'm sure the Moors are happy with this today. Nobody else is going to push the link. Oh, there's one.
Islam.
Peace, mother.
Peace and love. I
Peace,
just
love.
had to hop in and say supreme honors. We give thanks, Grand Sheik, for, keeping this message of the Prophet alive, standing on our principles. And we're just very honored to have you speak this truth today. Thank you.
Give thanks. You guys fix my plate?
We got it right here. We got that lumpia, sushi, all of that.
Send that plate over.
Yes, it's on the way, Grand Sheik. Give thanks. It just really is fundamental to keep that peace going, no matter, even if there are trolls,
Yeah.
No energy to those type of energies.
Straight.
Yeah,
Give
so
thanks.
we're about to eat in honor of you right now.
Yeah, give thanks, yo. Go in. Go in for me, please.
Of course. Peace and love is the supreme honor, as always.
Islam. Honors to all the Moors there.
Islam.
Peace. We got that troll spray. We got troll spray to the point where we'll just leave the troll drowning in the back room. And he's just going to sit there too, like a big dummy. Just going to sit there in the back room. That's just how they do. And then the other troll is not going to push the button. He's just going to be on here commenting BS. Commenting BS. Never push the button. They got their state set up and all that stuff. They ain't doing jack for anybody out here. They're just talking on videos. That's all they're doing, talking. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Peace and love to all the Moors everywhere that Moors are at. Honors to you. Honors to the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, for the lessons, because he brought us everything it takes to save a nation. Brought us everything it takes to save a nation. Right? Told us take it, save ourselves. Yeah, these Moors fighting air and winning too. They're fighting air and winning. They're applauding themselves. They're applauding themselves. Honors to all the Moors in the chat. Give thanks for the energy. You already know it's appreciated and reciprocated. And for all the Moors near Canaanland, temple tomorrow, 12 noon. We'll be there. 2530 Eglinton Ave West. If you want to do donations, it's PayPal. All donations for PayPal. Emails in the chat. All the donations to PayPal. And also go to khalifamedia.com and go to the sacrifice week. So go to the sacrifice week and make your sacrifice to to the Moors. No. Oh, no, we don't beg for donations. Somebody asked in the chat. Somebody asked in the chat if we're taking donations. Big difference. Good try, though. Good try, though, Abdul TV. Good try. But no, clearly, no one begged for anything on here. Clearly. What are you begging for anything for? The hell? Please. Sabir. This guy. This Abdul guy. This Abdul guy. Honors to all the Moors. Peace and love. We shall, let's close out with the prayer. You gotta put on your plate for a sec, Moors. Five on the left, two on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
Justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
Guide.
My guide.
My salvation.
And my salvation.
By night and by day.
By night and by day.
Through her holy prophet.
Through her holy prophet.
Noble Jew Ali.
Noble Jew Ali.
Islam.
Islam.
Peace to all the Moors worldwide. Islam Rakala.
Islam, GS, you don't know.
We shall. Peace and love to all the Moors. Islam. Honors to the Prophet Noble Jew Ali.